You see these cavemen? They are across our country in towns and cities promoting their hate. Do you know the only hate speech laws? They're inflicted against you, me. They want to kick our doors off. 12,000 people arrested for social media posts. What about the imams who are openly promoting hatred? Week in, week out. Nothing's done. Nothing's done. We have a future as a nation when we take this seriously, okay? Until then, people are going to keep fleeing our country. Do you know how many people I met today who are in Israel, in Jerusalem, who had just left? They said there's no future for us in Britain. We're losing the educated, the taxpayer, and we're filling our country with garbage and cavemen like this clown.
We safeguard the vulnerable from any type of exploitation. That is the character of a Muslim, or has a Muslim has a rahmah. Remember, rahmah is in its place. It's in its place. When the Tel Aviv fans come to Birmingham in a few weeks, we will not show them rahmah in Birmingham. But it has its time and place. If you meet an IDF soldier and you charge him riba, there is no riba. You can take from him. Take, not give. You meet this IDF guy and you say, you know your team's gonna win, and you say, okay, if they win, you gotta give me $10,000. Your team wins, you take the $10,000 from him. Is it haram? The answer is no. If your team loses, you don't pay him. That is the ruling. That it applies to people like the IDF. But does it apply to the honest Dutchman who's an honest person, a nice man who doesn't have any enmity against Islam? And there are so many Europeans like this. That we as Muslims must be upright role models for those, for Muslims and non-Muslims living in Europe, in order that they know the true image of Islam.
Tommy Robinson's outburst after Astar Rashid's sermon wasn't just outrage, it was a warning. When the Birmingham preacher told Muslims to show no mercy to Tel Aviv fans, it crossed a line that many in Britain feel has been ignored for far too long. Robinson's message cuts through the noise. How can a nation claim to fight hate speech while protecting those who preach it openly? He points out the glaring double standard. Over 12,000 British citizens have been arrested for online posts or political opinions, yet radical preachers who incite hatred and division are left untouched in the name of religious sensitivity. That, Robinson says, is exactly what's driving ordinary, hard-working people out of the country. His frustration reflects something bigger than one sermon. It's about a country losing its moral compass. The educated, the taxpayers, the people who once built Britain's strength are leaving, replaced by those who thrive on anger and ideology. In his view, Britain's elites have created a nation that punishes its own citizens while excusing those who undermine it. Love him or hate him. Robinson's response taps into a deep, growing resentment, the feeling that Britain has stopped defending its own people. And that's what makes this moment so explosive. It's not just about Birmingham or one imam. It's about a country standing at the edge, deciding whether to stay silent or finally fight back.
That both clubs should say to the Europa League and to the West Midlands Police and to the Safety Advisory Board, if you do not allow the Israeli away fans to come into Villa Park, we will not play this match. It's really important, this. And I don't want to hear Keir Starmer. I mean, for a moment this story broke when I was on air last night and the switchboard erupted. And I want to pay tribute to Aston Villa fans. They were furious. Three for Aston Villa fans phoned me up to say I will be handing in my season ticket tomorrow. So tribute to the Aston Villa fans who are as disgusted by this as the rest of us. Now, I don't want to hear the Prime Minister saying this is the wrong decision. What are you going to do about it?
Something. What are you going to do? Prime Minister.
This is a key moment, Alex. This is a key moment. You know, we've found this hate preacher, this Islamic preacher from Birmingham who was in Amsterdam a few weeks ago, saying, when the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans come to Birmingham, we must show them no mercy.
Yeah, I've got the clip. I've got the clip.
We safeguard the vulnerable from any type of exploitation. That is the character of a Muslim, who has a Muslim as a rahmah. This, remember, rahmah is in its place. It's in its place. When the Tel Aviv fans come to Birmingham in a few weeks, we will not show them rahmah in Birmingham.
What does he mean by that?
That means mercy. We won't show the visiting Israeli fans any mercy, any hospitality. We will make their life hell. Now, it is true that wherever Tel Aviv fans, Maccabi Tel Aviv fans go, as we saw last year in Amsterdam, they tend to be assaulted and attacked by pro-Palestine hooligans. But that makes it all the more important that they should be protected and they should be allowed to do what other football fans are allowed to do, and that is follow their team around the world. This is a really important issue. And West Midland Police, it's your job to protect them. Don't tell us you can't protect them. Don't tell us you can't guarantee their safety, because every week in the Premier League there are lots and lots of away fans going to games where the games are local derbies, they're very contentious, violence can easily erupt. They're able to protect the safety of fans in those circumstances. They can do it for the Maccabi fans.
This goes much deeper and it's much darker, because I remember Amsterdam a year ago. I remember the scenes. I did a huge piece on my Substack about it, where I had got access to some of the encrypted conversations that were being had between people going on a Jew hunt, that they were coordinated, that they were bussed in, that this guy is basically already, that Imam has put out a call to action, saying if they come here,
to hell with him, to hell with him,
to prison with him.
And in terms of the Amsterdam scenes that we saw, which were shocking, of course that was first written up that Jewish fans arrived in Holland and went on the rampage. What happened was they arrived in Holland and they were attacked.
But the waiting, prepared, marauding
and that's what happens to them everywhere they go. So the implication, or that somehow these people are troublemakers, they're not.
Oh, but this is what they always do. They always do the grievance politics. That is the main narrative and playbook of an Islamist, is to say we're the victim and they're the aggressor. Therefore, that justifies our violence against them. That is exactly their playbook that they always use. And what is sending a chill down my spine is actually, I think West Midlands police are probably right on this, because that lot, those horrible people with those sick, twisted medieval ideologies, do have the ability to phone up everybody around the country and bust them in. You saw when the Manchester airport thugs were initially arrested, and you've got about, a gathering of about 100 of them all standing there with their placards shouting and threatening outside the police station. You saw how they did when it came to the Batley school teacher. They are able to mobilise their followers, their acolytes around the country, to all come and be a pretty scary force. And I remember as well, not long ago, the attacks on the synagogue. Even the synagogues in New York had to go into lockdown. Everyone thought that this was going to be a big mass coordinated attack. You had the SAS in a helicopter going around. This was taken seriously, because I think when it comes to the intelligence agencies, the security services and the police, they realise actually now the threat is huge.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I don't think West Midland Police are right. I think they're profoundly wrong. This is, as I say, a key point in British history, and what the police are for is to enforce basic human freedoms. And these people coming from Tel Aviv to support their team, that is a basic human right, and it is the police's job to allow them to pursue their basic human rights. And by saying, oh, well, we can't really do that, what the West Midlands Police are effectively leading the charge in saying, well, from now on we can't really keep Jews safe in this country.
Kevin O'Sullivan's furious response to the Birmingham Imam's No Mercy sermon captures what millions across Britain are thinking, but too afraid to say. When a religious leader stands on a pulpit and declares that Tel Aviv fans, ordinary football supporters, should be treated without compassion, it's not cultural expression. It's incitement. O'Sullivan's blunt reaction to hell with him cuts through the timid political correctness that has allowed this rhetoric to grow unchecked. His criticism of the West Midlands police goes even deeper. By banning the Maccabi Tel Aviv fans, instead of confronting the source of the threat, police have effectively punished the victims and rewarded intimidation. It's a decision that exposes the moral confusion within British institutions too scared to be called Islamophobic, yet willing to compromise public safety and fairness. O'Sullivan's outrage isn't about religion. It's about double standards and cowardice. The state seems eager to silence ordinary citizens for minor social media posts, while extremists with microphones are given a free pass. His words remind Britain that tolerance should never mean surrender, and that protecting hate speech under the guise of diversity is tearing the country apart from within.